How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. Today's job, we have a transmission cover from a D9T Bulldozer that's come in for some bolt hole thread repair. What this cover actually does, this houses the backside of the transmission of the dozer. From memory, there is a oil pickup point there. It could be a scavenger pump that is used to pump oil throughout the transmission. By the look of this, there has been a fair bit of impact and damage done to the bottom of the housing. Most of the bigger dozers do have a belly plate that protect vital components, so I'm not sure whether this one had a belly plate or they just forgot to put it on. From the impacts to that area, it has actually pushed that component around quite a lot and it has stretched all the bolt holes. And someone's obviously had a go at repairing one of the threaded holes. You can see there is an insert in there, and it looks to be that they'd actually put a bit of weld there in order to try and level up the surface again. So that one hole that's been repaired, that could have been done in the field with the housing in situ on the machine, but the other bolt holes are severely damaged as well. All four of those should have been repaired at the same time. We're just going to fix them properly. So the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to try and remove that thread repair insert. I don't know what style it is. There are many different styles on the market, and if I'm not careful, I could damage the housing or damage the insert, and that's something we really need to avoid. So let's see if we can get it out, but if I can't remove it, I'm just going to leave it in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to modify this nut and bolt to basically make a baby thread puller. Yep. So it's moving. Small spot. Sounds like Loctite. Righto, so we got that out. It didn't come out too bad. It didn't really fight us. What it is a self-tapping 3/8 thread insert. So you drill the hole and then you wind the insert in and it cuts its own thread on its way in. So now that I've got that out, I can pretty much guarantee that was done in the field on situ in the machine, because there's still a lot of swarf left in the hole and it wasn't exactly straight. So now that that's done, we can get on to repairing the 4 damaged holes. So what I'm going to be using is an OEM thread repair kit. What the kit comes with is the right size drill to drill the hole out. It then has the correct size tap for the insert to be screwed into. They also come with 6 thread repair inserts and the installation tool. And this entire kit was under $200. So there are many different thread repair kits available on the market. When I'm doing thread repairs, I do like to use the Cat OEM kits because the way those inserts lock into place, they never come undone. I don't like helicoils and I don't like other thread insert repairs because they don't always lock in position and sometimes they can fail, and over time they can fatigue and unwind themselves, or it just pulls the helicoil straight out of the housing. Even if I wasn't doing a Caterpillar part, I would still try and buy an insert kit like this. So that's the kit. What I need to do now is get the housing set up in the milling machine.
See ya.
Righto, so I've found center, but we have found a bit of an issue measuring out the bolt hole centers. That one repaired area has got a significant difference in its location to the other three. So I'm not going to go and drill these at the moment. I am going to get the other component that bolts onto here from the customer, and then I will measure it, and then that will dictate the bolt hole locations that we are going to use. Because if I drill these bolt holes in the wrong spot, the other component will never bolt back on in position, and it will need to be repaired again.
Let me take the candle out. Good boy.
Righto guys, so we've got our part that bolts onto the transmission housing. It is not a scavenger pump, it is a strainer plate. And what the plate does is holds the straining element in place, and the strainer is there to pick up any debris or any metal that's going through the system so it doesn't get all the way through the transmission. So I have taken dimensions of the holes in the plate, and I have got no idea how they managed to get 4 bolts done up into the housing going through this plate. But there is a pretty good indicator that it has been a problem, because there is a lot of sealant and Loctite that is on the plate, and there is 1 metric bolt in amongst them when they should all be imperial. Someone had a good time trying to fix it. So the hole centers in the plate are 73mm, and that's exactly what I measured off the back of the housing. But because I had 1 bolt hole that was so far out of whack, I didn't want to make a mistake. So it's always a good thing to check to make sure you don't cause damage or you don't end up throwing the housing in the bin. So I am going to need to take it easy re-drilling these holes, because everything was pulled so far out of shape and the holes are a lot higher than they're supposed to be. I don't want the drill to walk and put the new bolt holes in the wrong spot. I also need to take it easy because these are blind holes. I don't want to drill all the way through them, because if I do, the housing will leak. Righto, so we've got those 3 holes drilled out. Some of you might have already noticed the 4th hole is going to be a really big problem. That hole is far too big to take a repair sleeve. As you can see, our drill is just flopping around in the hole. Not only that, it is also in the wrong spot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill out that hole, I'm then going to tap it, and I'm going to fill it with a bolt. I am going to Loctite that in place and bottom it out so there is no chance of it coming undone. Once I've done that, I can then move back to my correct hole position, re-drill that, and tap that to suit the bolts that hold on that plate. And I'm not even going to attempt to weld up this hole. It is cast iron and it can be quite problematic trying to get a weld to stick in there. So this is the only option we have. So that's where it's supposed to be. Drilling that hole, it did seem to be extremely hard, and the reason for that is someone has welded it. I don't know what they've used. We did end up getting that drilled to size. Now what we need to do is tap it. I'm not going to even attempt to power tap something like that because the chances of me breaking off the tap is extremely high, and I can't actually get a standard tapping handle on there in order to tap it. So I'm going to be using a tap follower. This used to be a hole saw arbor. So you screw the hole saw on, and then once you've drilled it out, the little pin will eject the material you've got stuck in the core. I'm going to use the arbor to extend the reach, hold everything in alignment, and keep pressure on top of the tap so I can then tap it with a spanner. That is as hard as... It's killing the tap. Just chip that one. So I don't actually have a spare tap this size, so what I'm going to do is cut off the damaged area, give it a bit of a regrind, and have another crack at it. So we managed to tap that hole and the bolt does screw in. Now what we need to do is install it permanently. causes a snap. So that worked exactly as planned. It worked perfectly. We didn't over tighten it and we did manage to bottom it out. The Loctite is just there to stop it from coming undone if ever that chance does happen. Now what I need to do is move the table back into the right position so I can drill and tap that hole to suit the standard bolt. So with those holes tapped, now we can install the thread repair inserts. So we're going to screw these in by hand, and the inserts have 4 locking wedges. Once we've got them to the height we want, we can then use the install tool to then drive the wedges down to lock the insert in place. Righto, so we've got our thread repair inserts all installed. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to mill the face so I've got a nice clean surface, so when they reassemble this, the O-ring will seat nice and flat and they won't need to use any Loctite or thread sealant to stop it from leaking.
Where'd it go? I can hear it.
There he is, right there.
Where? Oh, little finch.
So I ended up removing about 0.4 of a mil off that face. That's not going to affect anything because all that plate does is hold a strainer, and because they are wire mesh, they will collapse or expand. I don't need to bore the ID because that is just a clearance hole for the strainer filter to sit into, but while it's set up, I did notice the bottom bolt holes were quite bruised and damaged, so I'm going to face those off, and that's just going to give the bolt and the washer a nice flat surface to sit against. Righto guys, so this job is now complete. I'm really happy with how the thread repairs came out, considering how badly damaged the housing was. So all up, we spent $200 on the repair kit, and it was a couple of hours work. That works out pretty good for our customer, because to replace this housing is 29,000 Australian dollars. Last thing I need to do is strap this back to the pallet and get it back to our customer. Thanks for watching. Right, ready?
This is gonna make good bloopers.
I disagree. Right, you ready? Ready? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Nope. Not righto.
Rightos, rightos, rightos. Alrighty.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. So there are different many. So the first thing I'm going to do,
Make English, please.
I am. So. Shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. So, next.
Try again. Why don't you just use your finger?
Because it's a fat finger. Right, ready?
Yep.
I wouldn't say it's fat, it's average.
You need a smaller lathe.
You need a jeweler's
It's
lathe.
so little. Oh, what
Hey.
the hell?
Oh, it's got a split in it.
Is it gonna make it? You don't have much room left. Oh no. Stop. Can you explain it? I've never seen one in my life.
There you go.
Send help. For Curtis.
Right.
Oh, you just gotta wait 1 minute. Oh, what a mess. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Hey. What's this?
All gone.
I hope you didn't eat those. They're dog chocolates. Oh, wait, chocolate.